Yo, I hope you guys are doing fantastic today. In this video, I wanted to bring you guys a little bit of New World news. A couple days ago, we posted a video here talking about how the developers potentially made a mistake with the server mergers because the community was in a complete uproar about the RTA servers getting merged into legacy servers. Initially, the developers said they were going to treat RTA servers, or well, I guess alluded to the fact that they were going to treat RTA servers as Fresh Start servers, and that those were going to get merged into Fresh Start servers and not into legacy servers. And then whenever they stated that they were going to get merged into legacy servers, everyone got really angry, or at least the people that were on the RTA servers expecting something different got pretty angry. And so the community was in a big uproar. It was very well heard by the devs because they have come back and changed it. So before we dive into this post here, I just want to give a shout out to the devs because I think this is not the first time that they've heard community feedback and then adjusted accordingly based on what the community wanted or what the community's seen. And so I think they deserve credit for that. They do this often. This is not the only example that we have of this. They do in fact listen to the players, maybe not on every little issue that you would like to be changed, but they do in fact listen on the big issues like this. So I think in this situation they got it right. But let's take a look at what's going on here. It says, greetings adventurers. In order to stand by the expectations created by our original statement that Return to Aeternum Worlds would be considered Fresh Start Worlds after they were open to the public, we are merging Return to Aeternum Worlds with Fresh Start Worlds. So see, that was the perception of the community. That was the assumption of the community, because in their initial FAQ they stated that Fresh Start Worlds would never be merged into Legacy Worlds, and everyone was under the assumption, or everyone thought, that RTA Worlds were basically treated as Fresh Start Worlds. Even though they were event servers, there's a little bit of difference there, but still everyone thought they were Fresh Start Worlds, and so it was very much thought by the public that they were going to merge them into Fresh Start Worlds. So now it says they are in fact going to do that, which I think is fantastic. Their initial goal with Return to Aeternum Worlds was to evaluate them separately from non-event Fresh Start Worlds in the case of mergers. However, by stating that we were treating Return to Aeternum Worlds the same as Fresh Start Worlds, we set expectations for them to be merged with Fresh Start Worlds to previous wording in our FAQ, which is very true, and it was a little bit, I don't want to say misleading, because I don't think they meant to mislead anyone, but it was just a little bit confusing. All of this was a little bit confusing. So now they are in fact merging with Fresh Starts, which, man, this is really good. Moving forward, we will clearly indicate the intended route for the event worlds. We have been closely monitoring the economics, or the economies of Fresh Start Worlds, Return to Aeternum Worlds, and Legacy Worlds. Fresh Start Worlds and Return to Aeternum Worlds have some economic differences, but we have found that the average coin per character and average progression on each character for Return to Aeternum Worlds tracks closer to Fresh Start Worlds than to the current state of Legacy Worlds. So I think that's the reason initially why they decided to kind of go back and reevaluate and put RTA Worlds into Legacy Worlds, is because of the whole economy factor, right? Like, the event servers were very much different than the regular Fresh Start Worlds, and so in their mind, I think initially they thought, well, let's just merge them with Legacy because they're a little bit closer. Looks like they went back, reevaluated, and found that wasn't the case. So this is, in fact, the average character on a Return to Aeternum World has 35% less coin than the average character on a Fresh Start World. That makes sense to me that would be the case. The wealthiest 10% of users in the Return to Aeternum Worlds have an average of 60% less coin than the wealthiest 10% of users on Fresh Start Worlds. That also makes sense to me because the RTA Worlds were very much focused on getting the event done. And I know on our server, specifically on Titan, we were always dishing out our money or just distributing all of our coin to try to get the events done. So nobody was accumulating a whole lot of wealth over there until after the event was over. So now it says, after the event period for Return to Aeternum ended, there was significant slowdown in the economies of the worlds. So while they may have been ahead initially per character based on November 2nd to November 16th, and they might have been because everybody was playing a ton of hours, but again, I think at least on our server, the wealth was distributed a lot. So it says, in the weeks since this has adjusted to no longer be the case. In short, the average user coming from a Return to Aeternum world with these mergers has less coin than the average user on their destination Fresh Start World. Due to this and other internal measurements of the economies and character progression, we want to move forward with honoring the time spent on these characters by merging Return to Aeternum characters into Fresh Start Worlds rather than Legacy Worlds. Great news. We are aware of concerns around potential toxicity that exists in any world merge, and we expect players to abide by our code of conduct. Those who not will be actioned upon appropriately, and we ask you to continue to report anyone who violates them. So it looks like they're going to be merged on December 15th at 1 o'clock a.m., which is CST for me, whatever time that is for you. You can see it in this forum post here. I'll make sure to link it again down in the description below. But it looks like this is happening on December the 15th. So here in just a few days, almost a week, you'll be getting merged. So here's what's going to be happening. If you're in Central Europe, if you're on Dracul, it's going to be merging into the Guywane server. I'm sure I'm butchering the name. US East, Death is going to be merged into the Devourer Fresh Start server. Titan is going to be merged into the Isabella Fresh Start server. And then Overlord is going to get merged into the Gaia Fresh Start server. So I for one am pretty happy they're doing this. I thought that it should have been that way all along, because it was very confusing. I understand their thought process behind wanting to merge them with Legacy, but it's like whenever one thing is said and everybody expects one thing to happen and then another thing happens, it gets very confusing. And so I'm very happy that they decided to go back, reevaluate. They took the community feedback, and here we are. They reevaluated, took a closer look, and then decided to merge them into Fresh Start World. So I just wanted to bring this to you guys' attention in case you missed this post on the forums, because we did post about this being a problem a couple days ago, and now here it is. It's fixed. And so everybody on the RTA worlds that wanted to be merged into Fresh Start, you can now rejoice because the day has come. But thank you guys so much for watching. That's all I wanted to bring you today in this video. What do you guys think about this whole news? Do you think this is the right play, or did you care? Are you on a Fresh Start world? Were you on an RTA world hoping to get merged into the Fresh Start world and then you were mad? What are your thoughts here? Do you think this is the right play or not? But thank you guys again. I appreciate it. As always, come hang out with us on twitch.tv/BDLG every Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock a.m. CST. We'd love to have you there. And yeah, that's it for this one. We'll see you next one.